It's time for Recipe of the Day. What I'm telling you about today is how to roast a turkey in parts. That's right, how to cook turkey pieces separately from each other, not a whole big turkey. Now, if you are protesting already, if you are saying, wait, but I like to take the turkey to the table and carve it in front of everyone, if that is your family tradition, this may not be the right thing for you. But if you are a household where you carve the turkey in the kitchen and then take it carved to the table, or if there are a couple of other little pros of this technique that I'm going to tell you about that might pique your interest, I think you're going to love this. Now, before I tell you more about those pros, I have a request to ask of you. This is the busiest time of the year for home cooks like you and like me. You know what I'm talking about. This is the time of the year when we are entertaining the most, when we're making the most fun and delicious dishes. This is the time of the year when we're searching for recipes online the most often. And this is also the time of the year, I don't know about you, but definitely for me, when things are more likely to catch my eye in social media and I'm more likely to click on them to go check them out to see what they are. I am on the lookout for ideas, and I bet you are too. And I bet all of your friends and family are as well. So my request is, if I tell you about something that sounds amazing, like the recipe I'm going to tell you about today, or any of the things that I talk about, it would be really, really wonderful if you could share those links on your social media or tell your friends and family about it. Tell them about this podcast. If they're looking for ideas about what to cook this time of year, everybody is more likely to pay attention because they've got cooking on the brain. And that would be something amazing that you could do to help me and my business out. Okay, now on to roasting turkey parts. I'm going to spend a little bit of time convincing you here of why this is the way to go, because I am just so convinced of this. Now, the only cons are, like I said, if you like to present that whole big turkey at the table and carve it in front of people, if that's what you do, you don't get to do that. The other little tiny con is that you kind of do things in two parts with the cooking process, so it's a little bit more monitoring to do, but it's really, really minimal for all of the perks that you get, all of these pros. What are the pros? Okay, first of all, turkey pieces take up less room in your fridge or freezer, and they take less time to thaw. So if you have any kind of frozen turkey situation going on, it's going to be quicker. Because they take up less room in your fridge, I mean, real estate in the fridge around Thanksgiving is a crazy thing, right? That's going to help you. But also, if you're going to brine the turkey, if you're brining a whole turkey, you're stuck in that weird situation where you need to keep a whole big turkey cold for the amount of time that's in the brine. The turkey pieces not only take up less room in the fridge while they're brining, they also need to be in the brine for less time. If you're not brining your turkey, and you do not have to, there are other reasons why this is an amazing technique. It might already be obvious to you, but one of the best reasons to do this is that turkey pieces are easier to cook perfectly. What happens with a whole turkey usually is that in the time it takes the dark meat, the legs, the drumsticks, to get to the temperature they need to be, the breast meat is overcooked. It's been exposed to the heat at the top of the oven for that whole time, and it's dry. Turkey has this bad reputation of being dry, and that is part of the reason why. If instead you can cook the turkey breast to exactly the right temperature and take it out of the oven while letting those dark meat pieces continue to get mouth-watering and delicious in the oven, then you have juicy, perfect turkey breast and juicy, perfect turkey drumsticks. Wonderful. Oh, I'm going to say, mentioning the drumsticks. If you are a family that fights over the drumsticks, then this is definitely a method you should try, because you can buy as many drumsticks as you want. You don't have to get a whole turkey and break it down to do this. You can actually buy the pieces that you want at the grocery store. Buy a turkey breast, buy 4 turkey drumsticks, get a couple of wings if you want. You can buy those pieces. They sell the pieces at the grocery store, and then you're not fighting over the drumsticks. Everybody can have one of those big drumsticks on their plate at Thanksgiving. It totally works that way. Isn't that amazing? 2 more pros. I know there's a lot of them, right? So there is no real carving involved. If you struggle with it, if it's kind of a stressful part of the Thanksgiving dinner, getting that turkey carved, you only really have to slice the breast with this method. The other pieces are served whole, so you don't have to do any of the carving. And then the final, this is the most important reason, you get more crispy skin. When you break those pieces apart, they have more surface area, and the heat can kind of circulate around them better. And so the result is more of that amazing crispy skin, which is, in my opinion, the best part of roast turkey. Okay, you are convinced by now, I'm sure. How do you do this? So I'm telling you how to do sort of a basic set of turkey pieces if you were going to approximate having had a whole turkey, whether you were going to break that down yourself or buy the pieces. It's 2 bone-in skin-on turkey breasts. They're about 2.5 pounds each. 2 skin-on turkey legs. Those are the bone-in 2. They're about 1 pound each. Then 2 bone-in skin-on turkey thighs. They're about 1.5 pounds each. And then 2 bone-in skin-on turkey wings. So you've got 8 pieces total there. 2 of them are the breasts, which are quite large. And this is going to serve about 8 to 10 people, depending on how many side dishes you're doing. You're going to preheat the oven to 325 degrees Fahrenheit. And then you're putting the breasts and the wings on one sheet pan. If you have a wire rack that fits in your sheet pan that can go in the oven, it is best to use wire racks. But if you don't have them, just don't even worry about it. The wire racks help the heat circulate under the meat as well, which just cooks more evenly. But if you don't have the racks, don't worry about it. So if you have a rack, put on a sheet pan, put the breasts and wings on one, and then do another sheet pan, also with a rack if you have it, with the legs and the thighs. Then you place those both into the oven. If they fit side by side, fantastic. If not, put one under the other, and then you'll rotate them halfway through. Then you're baking the one pan with the breast on it until the breast temperature is 150 degrees Fahrenheit on an instant read thermometer in the thickest part. It's going to take about 2 hours. At that point, you take that pan out of the oven, just let it be. Then you continue to bake the thighs and the legs until they get to 165 degrees Fahrenheit on an instant read thermometer. Also, it's probably going to take about 30 more minutes. Then you take those out of the oven, let everything rest for 30 more minutes at this point. I know the breast and the wings have already been out of the oven for a little while. Now everything is out of the oven for 30 more minutes. In this time, you can get your side dishes all finished off, and you can make gravy too. If you're making gravy, I'm going to put a link in the show notes, or you go to cookthestory.com and search for how to make gravy. I have a really thorough and very helpful tutorial. It makes the best gravy every single time. Head over there. But what you're going to do to make that gravy is transfer all of your turkey pieces to a plate or something for a moment, and then you can pour some stock into those pans, scrape up anything, and then pour the liquid from both pans into some kind of bowl. That's going to be your drippings to use. Then you can transfer those pieces back onto the pan where they finish resting. You're making your gravy, and then after those legs and thighs have rested for their 30 minutes, you're turning the temperature of the oven up to 500 degrees Fahrenheit. Then you're putting the breast and wing pan into that hot oven and baking it in there for 10 minutes or until the skin is really brown and crispy. It's going to warm the meat up just a little bit too. Now, after the 10 minutes, take that pan out and then put the pan with the thighs and the legs in for their 10-ish minutes until that skin is nice and brown and crispy. While those legs and thighs are in the oven, that is when you slice the turkey breast because it already rested earlier. It doesn't need to rest more now. Slice that breast, get it onto your serving platter, put the wings on the platter. After those legs and thighs are nice and crispy brown, the 10-ish minutes at 500, take that pan out, add that to your serving platter, and you're ready to serve. Your gravy is ready, your side dishes are ready, your turkey is perfect, and you take that platter of beautifully juicy turkey breast that you've sliced and those golden brown pieces with the crispy skin to the table and dig in. I'm going to put the link to this recipe in the show notes for this podcast episode, or you can head to cookthestory.com/ROTD and get it there. Everything there is arranged by date, so it's helpful to know that today is November 17th of 2024. And I'm going to remind you that it's a huge help to me if you share these recipes on your own social media platforms or tell your friends and family about them. Tell everybody about this podcast too. Everyone has food on the brain right now. Let them know where they can find all these tasty recipes. Thank you so much. I'm Christine Pittman from cookthestory.com, thecookful.com, the all-new chicken cookbook, and from this podcast, Recipe of the Day. I hope you have a great day. Let's get cooking.